Welcome back to Shooting It Straight. I'm Pistol Pete here with Ricky Revolver.
How we doing, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah. Episode 10. The Big 10.
10, and we haven't been kicked off. That's pretty good.
You from Tennessee? Because you're the only 10 I see. No? From here? Okay. Fair enough.
Well, I say we just get right to it.
All right.
I had a rough week. Not at work. My week at work was pretty good. But I have...
Mine was different.
It was?
My work week.
Oh, yeah. Do you have an update for me on that? Quickly before we start.
So quick update on that. I know for our listeners, there was a few episodes before I said that the boss man was talking about adios, amigos. Well, that as of yesterday? Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday I called you. The old boss man said they had other plans with the building we were supposed to move into. So as of May, I still haven't seen what the last day of May was, either 30th or 31st. Whatever one of them days is. I'm trying to
31st.
stall. 31st. May 31st.
Which is Labor Day, so you won't be working anyway.
Boop. We're not shutting doors because someone else is moving in June 1st. But we're out.
So
I mean, I don't mean to laugh like it's funny, but I mean, it's funny.
So you're going to celebrate Labor Day with, like, no more laboring at your job? Like, cancel?
Yeah. That's kind of cool.
Huh.
But that's not cool that I mean, there's places everywhere I've seen when I looked online and stuff, but I just want to, I don't know, I'm kind of done hopping around, and I finally was like, all right, not bad, a little over a year. Yeah, this is the last couple months. We're gonna, kapow, slam the old door, lock it up.
You know I like to shoot it straight, so...
I'm just like, man, what do we get to take?
I would say in our current state of affairs, you should probably hop on the looking for the job before your job ends.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I can't go on unemployment. I've got too much. Ricky's big purchase also with our
it's a good thing
listeners.
that just happened.
Yeah, so
fantastic.
So I gotta pretty much get right back on the old job hunt. But I've got a couple feelers out there. I got a couple of soldiers in my army, that are on the lookout for me. And you is one of them.
You know that I've come up with some...
I ain't going back. I ain't going back. Don't even
think about it. We could hang out.
I am thinking about it. It sounds terrible.
We could hang out and everything.
I know, for like 20 minutes, and then I'd be like,
I know, and then I'll be like, adios, amigo. Think of how much fun.
Here's reality.
Think of how much fun we could have in 20 or 30 minutes, though.
Oh, it'd be fun. I know that, but it wouldn't be fun for the next 7.5.
Well, in light of keeping it straight, we're on to our next topic, and that is unity.
Sir.
So, during our 2020 election year, didn't our current president speak about how he wanted to unite the country?
That is correct. I do remember hearing that, yes.
Several times, right? Preached unity. Has he done anything recently that seems to you that he's trying to unify the country?
No, and that's kind of, I don't watch a lot of news, so it's kind of unfair, but, I mean, I hear a lot, just from people, and it's funny that you said it, because today, one of the delivery drivers, like, right at the end of the day, which luckily I stayed longer than I did, but he was talking about it, and he's like, I thought people were supposed to come together. Like, usually when you watch the news, they try to show you something good, but now there's nothing even good.
There is nothing good.
And he's like, and we're in a good part of the country, and if stuff starts going south here, yikes. It's like,
Yeah, it's been tough because I do watch the news. You know that.
I can't.
I do listen.
I just can't.
Well, you got to know what's going on. You got to be informed.
I know. I just can't.
it's getting increasingly hard because say what you want to say about our previous administration, but for 5 years they attacked him at every turn, every single day, and he took those shots and kept on going.
Yep, kept chugging
before
along.
Before he came into office, and for 4 solid years, you literally woke up, went to work, you didn't have a care in the world. Gas prices were low, unemployment was was at a record low.
Mm-hmm.
People went to work, people were paying their taxes, the economy was at a record high. Literally the only thing you had to worry about waking up every day was turning on the TV or hearing in the news about who was going to take the next shot at the current president. Who was going to back talk him for doing that or doing this, doing that, but life was good for the majority of Americans. Mm-hmm. Now I wake up every single day and it's just like a different shot of how we're going to suffer some sort of financial consequence, or we're suffering still the effects and new regulations and new, the restrictions for the virus. It's tough. You gotta, every time he talks, every time he opens his mouth, it costs you more money.
Did you hear their speeches this week? His and the vice president?
No.
So
maybe. I don't know. Yeah.
So Master T, he listens to, it's like 107 or something on the radio, It's like the news or whatever. And he listens to that and they talk, about politics and everything. And that was one of the things they talked about. And he was like, oh yeah, the confirmed cases in Florida are high and so are the deaths. And everybody's like, deaths? You mean deaths?
Oh, you're referring to
that's like what he said.
Him not knowing exactly where he's at, and everybody's saying he's fine.
And he said desks.
Okay.
And so everybody's like, okay. And then she was talking about like not paying the teachers enough. Well, when she was, I don't know if people were taking offense to it, but she stated that it's a form of child care, the school system. And it was like, and then she just started laughing.
That's all she ever does.
Busting up. It was like someone got into a tickle fight with her, and she wasn't fighting. She was just getting.
That's all she ever does is laugh.
And I was just like,
and I don't find anything funny about what's going on at this point in time. No, I started off my week by hearing. Let me ask you this. This has actually been my number one question I've had for the entire week.
Ooh.
So when we talk about unity, what exactly makes you want to unite? You have a president. In our last episode, we discussed how anytime there's a crisis with a firearm, he's jumped on wanting to take firearms. He's already attacking it. They're already talking about wanting to take executive order on your firearm, rights or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so I heard the story the beginning of the week, how I started off my week. You have a president who wants nothing more than to take your firearms. He has a son. You familiar with his son?
Yes.
Okay. So amongst other problems, in 2018, a firearm that was licensed or registered and purchased by his son was found by a man rummaging through the trash can outside a market in Delaware.
Okay.
Found this firearm, which come to find out was registered to your president, who wants to take all your firearms, son. Was in a trash can behind a gas station, convenience store, market, whatever it was, near a school. Obviously not a good deal. I mean, that doesn't sound like a responsible gun ownership.
No.
A little side note on the story. That was actually the widow of his dead brother that he was involved in a relationship apparently threw the gun in the trash can.
Whoa.
And so he had legally purchased that firearm-ish. Turns out your president, who wants to take your guns away, son, lied on the application. He was kicked out of the United States Navy in 2014 for cocaine. Apparently they don't take too kindly to you being addicted to drugs and owning firearms. So he lied on his application to obtain this firearm, to which later recklessly disposed of it in a trash can.
Wow.
But another side note to the story, it sounds like apparently the Secret Service got wind of the story or something and went into the gun shop that sold the firearm and tried to retrieve the records. What do you think they were going to do with those? I mean, we can only speculate at this time.
Yeah.
I read when they reported it that the owner of the gun shop refused to give up the records and was going to turn them over to ATF.
Dang.
So, again, we have a president who would love nothing more than to crush your Second Amendment rights, but his son is out there purchasing guns and recklessly disposing of them.
Mm-hmm.
And they say they say it's the background. We went through the background checks. That just puts their foot in the door to extend all the confiscation, to figure out new ways, new reasons, new means to take them from people that actually take the matter seriously. So, along the lines of unity, what about that strikes you as being enthusiastic about getting behind his agenda? Because that seems fairly hypocritical to me.
Yep.
I mean, and then we have
Do as I say, not as I
a $2 trillion stimulus package that gets passed where only 10% of the bill was actually used for COVID-related things for the American citizens. I mean, the other stuff was handed out in various fashions. I mean, it doesn't matter who you support. How can you get behind putting the citizens of this country in that kind of predicament? I mean, because that's not just you paying for it. That's not just me paying for it. That's not your kid. I mean, that's your kids. That's your kids' kids that are going to be paying for this national debt. So you have people that are like, oh, yeah, that sounds fantastic. Then there's people that are like, are you serious right now? Like, in what stretch of the imagination does that seem like something that is just going to bring us all together?
Well, to fix the debt, aren't we going to go to digital currency? Isn't it supposed to help fix the debt?
I did read the story on the digital currency, and that. Look, I mean, we can touch on that a little bit. I think we need to do a whole nother episode on that because from what I read...
Little teaser.
From what I read on the digital currency thing, that is going to be scary. If that actually comes to fruition and how they suspect that they're going to carry out that plan. And yeah, I mean, to answer your question, that's allegedly how they plan on... eliminating the debt, because if you have this safe at your house that you have pulled all your cash out because you're afraid of the way things are going right now.
You're a Ricky Revolver.
And then the way they want to switch to digital currency that they're reporting at this point in time and retrieve your cash, they want to give you less digital currency than for the cash that you have. And in some fashion, they think that by giving you less and then taking what you have, they want to, somehow it's all going to come full circle, and then that's how they plan on eliminating the debt. And this was reported that this isn't going to be your Bitcoin or your other digital currency. This is going to be from the Federal Reserve. I don't know. I do know because I read about it, but I think that we need to do a little more investigation before we start.
A little teaser.
Because I'm going to be honest with you, because that had me a little like, whoa.
I've heard a lot of people talking about it, and I'm not game for it.
It's crazy.
100% crazy.
And if it comes around the way it was initially reported, it's I'm at a loss of words. I mean, really. We are living in some seriously crazy, unprecedented times. What about, here's another unifying topic. What about the new proposed $2 trillion infrastructure plan and how we're going to pay for that? Do you hear any of that? Mm-mm. Which, by the way, the transportation secretary or whatever he is that's pushing for this, that's biking to work. This is a little side note. Biking to work and to promote how we don't need to be driving the cars and hurting the energy, which, on another note, with clean energy and pollution and things like that, nobody does it better than America for emissions. I mean, it's as simple as, like, we're taking, I mean, when you take your light bulbs out in your house, do you put the old school light bulbs back in, or do you put the LED ones in? Because you want to conserve power, right? Because when you conserve power, your bill's lower. Mm-hmm. Anyways, back to the infrastructure. The transportation secretary that's promoting this bill and promoting the mileage tax to pay for it, and promoting bike this and bike that, and he bikes to work, was just busted taking the bike out of the back of an SUV that he parked on the side of the road and then rode the bike to the cabinet meeting. Are you shitting me?
There's some stones on that fella.
Critical. They're planning this corporate tax hike, and this mileage tax hike, or this mileage tax, and in their mind that you're going to get taxed for the miles that you drive. We already are paying for the usage tax in a gas tax. Mm-hmm. And the thing that people, I think, don't think about is that we're paying for that in this the gas tax for the usage for every gallon of gas that you buy. Now, if they implement this mileage tax, which I think has an ulterior motive altogether, because and here's another thing, people think, well, you drive the car, you drive 100 miles a week, I drive 40 miles a week. Yeah, he should have to pay more. He's on the road more. He's abusing the road more. He's this, that, and the other thing. Do you think for 1 second, if they come to that they're going to use, they say, okay, well, we're going to give you your usage tax and a mileage tax. Do you think they're going to eliminate the tax out of the gas? Mm-mm. So if that was the case, in theory, you would think, well, gas is going to go 20 or 30 cents lower because they're going to take that usage tax out of every gallon of gasoline I buy, because now they're charging me about the mile, or by the mile. Mm-hmm. They'll never do that. They'll never take away an avenue in which they're taking away your money.
No.
So you're going to be then paying both. Now that brings the next question. That, like I said, I think, how are they going to keep track of that? Well, that's easy, people say. You got to record your miles. So I'm just going to, you think that everybody, the millions of cars that exist in this country right now, are going to just swing through a local DOL once a quarter or once a year to take it? How do you think they're going to track that? There's going to have to be some electronic device inside your car. Mm-hmm. Then it turns in, you know what that turns into? Some sort of digital toll road. What are your options with a toll road or the hot lane on the coast? You don't want to pay that fee. You don't drive in that lane, or you don't take that road if it's a toll road. If they're tracking it in your car, because how reasonable is it for everybody to just swing through to get their mileage recorded? They're going to have to track it a different way. So the amount of people that they can track digitally, but then they're tracking everywhere. So what if they say, oh, well, on this road, that just opens up the opportunity for them to be able to decide how much at any point in time they're going to charge you to drive on that road. They may decide one day for you to drive down your street that it's 7 cents. Or let's say that you live 20 or 30 miles from town, and when they initially put in the implement the plan, they decide that it's 10 cents a mile for you to drive. And then they say, holy crap, Ricky travels this road 30 miles one way, but then he's got to go home. So then he's 30 miles two ways, 10 cents.
It's going to be like a taxi thing.
Yeah, then they're going to be like, well, what's he going to do? If we've decided now that we've tracked him every day and he travels it Monday through Friday, that must be work. So he's got to go to work. So if we just bump that tax up to 30 cents a mile instead of 10, he's got 30 cents a mile for 30 miles and then 30 cents a mile before. I mean, you don't have the option to take that road. I mean, do you think that's out of the realm of possibilities? Do you think that's something that they can't do? I mean, a toll, like I said, you pull up to a toll to go through a toll road and you pay whatever their thing is, or you
got to go through a toll road. You got to pay shit.
Yeah. So now they can decide to charge you whatever they want, whenever they want, wherever they want.
Yep. We didn't even have to go through there. We came back from Tacoma in 4 minutes. Tacoma to Spokane Valley. Excuse me, $7, sir.
Well, and that brings
I'm
the
sorry,
next thing.
we weren't even there, good sir.
That actually brings up another good point. How are you going to pay for that? I mean, are they going to send you like a bill every year and just be like, oh, here's the whole year's worth of mileage tax you have, and then you have to pay that, or you can't?
It's gonna be like
can't get tabs.
It's be like a taxi service.
So then,
every 2 weeks you got to pay it, or you can't start.
Yeah. So then, what's your other option? You have to have like a payment on file, and then they're all right, Ricky. We'll just go ahead and charge that for you. So they start just like in your situation. They send your plate number for driving in the hot lane over there in Tacoma. You ain't even never been there.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. That's a random lottery. So if you've never been anywhere and they got a partial plate on you and they send you a ticket for driving in a lane on a road you've never been, it's because they guessed at the last numbers of your
there's another
plate.
One coming, right?
Another fine? Yeah. Sweet Jesus. No, you did not tell me that.
Oh, stupid.
All in all, you have people thinking that these are great ideas, and you have people and these ideas, I mean, I wake up and read these new ideas, and I'm trying to figure out, like, legitimately on a daily basis, how high are these people? Because, so that doesn't exactly strike me to unite with my neighbor who thinks it's a good idea when I think it's crazy as hell.
I'll take a good old saying from Pete. Higher than a pair of freaking pterodactyl nuts.
That's pretty high.
That's super high. Well, maybe not now because they're all extinct. So it might be really low now.
I'm just not very...
That's deep.
It's true.
But seriously, they are, because that's crazy. I say it jokingly that it'd be like a taxi toll. But scaringly, I could see it being like that. Them trying to take control of everything.
That's what it is. But what exactly... You live in the United States of America, the free world. And all they want to...
USA!
They want to control every single aspect of your life.
Everything.
And legitimately, regardless, you do have some people that think that's a good idea. You do have people out there that think that these ideas are good. You do have, like we said before, I think there were some illegitimate votes counted. There were legitimate ones. People legitimately think these are good ideas.
Mm-hmm.
How am I supposed to unify with these people when I wake up every day and I'm just like getting hit in the nuts with something new that's going to cost me money?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not feeling very unified right now. Another crazy thing I heard. You hear anything this week about the vaccine passports?
I did a little bit, but that's unfair because it was from you. So, but I know it was I did tell a couple people what you told me, so I did spread it, and people were like, "Well, I'd never go over there anyway." So it's like, well, that's good because
go over where? They're talking about doing it like everywhere.
Oh, well, just let me be in Idaho and just let me get my woods and just let me get the old camper up there and leave me alone. Please.
I mean, they're talking about like people can require these things like anywhere.
I mean, the vaccine.
First and foremost, I am, like I said before, against the getting the vaccine at this point in time. I'm not against vaccines. I'm for vaccines that have been around a really long time, that we know the outcome. I mean, they did like a little bit of a trial or whatnot prior to this ish. I still think that this is kind of, I mean, can you really say that this currently isn't still kind of the trial? Like, let's see how this goes. I mean, so I'm young and I think that I'm healthy. I'm not against anybody that wants to get it at all, but I'm saying that should be probably a discussion that you have with your doctor, and he and you determine if you think it's a good idea to get the vaccine. I don't know what it's going to do. I don't know what the long term, I mean, we relatively, I would say, know what the short time outcome is, but we don't know what kind of effects they're going to have long term. I hope it's nothing. I hope that it, but I mean, has it really, in my mind, it hasn't really been proven. It was fantastic. It was a miracle that they could get it this fast, but I want to see what, I'm young and in good health. I don't want to get it. I want to see what the outcomes are first. So with the vaccine passport, should that limit where I can go, what I can do, if your employer is going to require it? I mean, like, it just, I'm at a loss of words for that too.
So my thing is, I'm not against people that want to get it. I'm not against people that don't want to get it. I feel like that's your decision. That's what you want to do. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Now, why I kind of want to hold off, same kind of reason. There's just not enough out there for me, and I'm the one where I kind of play everything a little close to the chest, where I kind of keep everything a little bit more towards me, and I don't let everybody into my circle or into my, Pete would like to say, personal bubble. I'm not really
Huge fan of personal space.
not into that. So me, I was allergic to everything under the sun when I was a kid. Everything.
Yeah, we talked about that before.
Yeah, everything.
You were like, I'm allergic to mowed grass.
Mowed grass, dust, I mean, dairy products, everything. And so I know I've grown some of that. I can still have a little bit of cheese, but I'm lactose sensitive, is what I'm told. So I kind of like to just wait and see, because what if there's somewhere out there's got to be someone that's just like me that's gonna get it, and hey, I'm chill as a cucumber. I've been great, awesome. It's great. I just like to see evidence, and I'm a seer. Whatever.
Well, realistically, there's this too. There's too many questions about the whole thing for me, period. Like, starting with the fact that there were legitimately, like, how many cases of the flu reported this year? You didn't hear about anything about the flu. It was all the COVID. We've been over that. Respiratory, contracted in the similar forms. Symptoms are a little bit different. I mean, all in all, I think I try not to dwell on it every day because we're living it every day. But the last I'd read, it's got like a 98 or 97% survival rate. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that it's as dire to need it. Take the vaccine if you're young, if you're in good health or stuff like that. But then you have the problem of, there are people that are for taking it right now, the minute it's released. So they take it, right? Then they're not worried about it anymore because we took it. Mm-hmm. But then they're mad at you because you don't want to get it. Not necessarily you, let's say me. I'm young, I'm in good health, I'm this, that, and the other, so I've decided that I'm not going to take it. But then they're mad at me, and you're like, essentially, you want everyone to die because you just want to spread this. Well, if you've got it, if you've taken the vaccine, you should be protected from it, right? So it's this constant, like, so if I didn't, I would be susceptible to getting the virus. You shouldn't be because you took the vaccine.
Yeah, it's just constant unity.
So now,
button heads.
So now that we're just butting heads over this too, just another situation that we're butting heads over all the time. Then you come to this passport situation, like Nazi Germany say what? I mean, like, now I've got to basically show up at checkpoints if I travel and show my papers. You got to you want to go to a movie, you want to go to
It was right here. See that little dot? Right here.
You want to go to a movie, you want to go to a restaurant, you want to go to a Major League Sporting event, you got to show your papers. I think I've seen that. I think I've read about that somewhere. I think we know how that works out. I mean, like, we're all supposed to unite, but now you're mad at me because I don't want to take it, and here's my reasons. Because I don't want to take it, I'm like pretty much want everyone to die, but you shouldn't have to worry about it because you did take it, so why are you throwing shade at me? Like, where is the unity?
Ain't gonna be anywhere for a while there, bud. Don't hold your breath, okay?
And like we talked about a couple of episodes, every time you turn on the TV, we have this constant division of the races. Mm-hmm. How is that uniting everyone? When you're just, this person hates you because you got this color skin. That person hates you because you got that color skin. We got to do this for this color skin. And then this color skin's over here going, well, what about me? I mean, like, you think the division of the races is uniting anybody?
I'm pretty sure everybody, should answer that. No. And that's always it's always going to be there. And it's just us two shooting it down here in the Beats lab, trying to get the world to open their eyes and go, holy shit, what happened? We're in 2021? Wait, we're in June?
I think about it.
Holy smokes, what happened?
I think about it every day, and I do think and hope that people are opening their eyes and thinking about what's going on, but you don't know.
It's going to be too late by the time everybody does.
What about the day the new administration take office? He's been preaching his unity up to that point. He's been preaching his unity since that point. Mm-hmm. First thing he does is opens up the fence at the southern border, but puts one around Washington D.C. How many people was that supposed to unite? He's basically saying, we don't care about you. Now we're going to flood the border with drugs. We're going to flood the border with this, that, and the other. And in our current state of affairs, in our current situation, I have a huge problem with that. Because me and Margaret had a little bit of a discussion about this that incognito got a little heated, I would guess. I was getting heated, I know that for sure, because when you would describe our situation as this pandemic, we're dealing with this all over the world. Mm-hmm. As the leader of your nation, your country, you've got to close those avenues down, and you have to worry about the people that elected you. You have to worry about the people that you're supposed to be protecting. Like, I'm sorry to tell you, I mean, like, we're like the world's wallet. The wallet, that ain't giving any money right now. Everybody's going to close, and everybody has to deal with themselves. Everybody has to deal with their own problem. Everybody has to take care of themselves. And that is a harsh reality. But that is your job as a leader. Mm. Sometimes you make choices. Sometimes you get this choice and it's good, or you get this choice and it's good. Sometimes you have this choice and it's bad, or this choice and it's good. Sometimes you have this choice and it's bad, and this choice and it's bad. You have to make those decisions because that's part of being a leader. He should be worried about the people of his own country instead. Case in point, I was just trying to explain this the other day. We've now taken on this massive, massive, massive debt. And they shelled everybody out $1,400 checks. So which we discussed about 10% of that, roughly 10% of this massive bill that's going to put your grandkids are still going to be paying for that in massive debt. And they cut you a $1,400 check. And then you have our Senate Majority Leader that gets on to tell you that they did it. And he's waving his hands and he's so excited. We passed it. We did it. We got you $1,400 just like we said we would. but we're going to send millions and billions everywhere else. And you as an American, your tax dollars that paid for it, when they fulfill their other campaign promise of fulfill their other campaign promise by raising taxes on everybody making over 400,000 and in corporations, you're going to have the majority of everyone around here thinking, goddamn right, he's making over 400,000, he should pay. That corporation is paying. Who do you think's paying for that? The government's going to take that money to recoup some of this debt that they put everybody in, to give you $1,400 and then stand up there and act like you should be more than grateful while they dish out millions and billions everywhere else. That corporation, they don't pay those taxes when they're raised. Corporations operate in a profit margin, and if you think that that corporation's going to take any less of a profit, you're higher than a set of nuts on a giraffe. They're going to raise their prices. They're going to, for whatever service it is that they provide, so that they're taking in more money so that when the government sends them that bill, they can pay it, but they've still maintained the profit margin they want to be in. You just paid that extra. Doesn't exactly inspire me to get on board.
Saddle up, partner, because we're in for a hell of a ride.
Hold on tight. It's just crazy. I mean,
it is.
The latest thing I heard today that didn't exactly strike me as trying to get everyone on board with the plan is, this may be new, you may not have heard of this yet. So Georgia's trying to reform their election law so that what happened this year doesn't happen again or can't happen again. Florida was in a similar predicament at one point in time. Now you have these corporations, I think Delta Airlines is one. Coca-Cola's name came up again. Seems to be a usual suspect. And so they want to reform the voter law to require, believe, voter ID. Or voter ID.
Yeah.
So that when you come in and cast that ballot, you have to show that ID. So now you have Delta Airlines that's super pissed about it. Coca-Cola's super pissed about it. Forgive me, last time I checked, didn't Delta Airlines require you to show them photo ID to board that airplane? So how is it not hypocritical, and why is it okay for the airliner to require your photo ID to get on that plane, but not the state that they have, I'm guessing, manufacturing plants or whatnot in, because they're saying that they are going to move and things like that, because now the state of Georgia wants to require voter ID to vote, and they don't agree with that. But it's not hypocritical of them to require your ID to get on the plane. Major League Baseball came out today, and they're going to move the All-Star game out of Georgia because they don't agree with requiring ID to vote. Excuse me, if you're a citizen of the United States of America, don't you want only United States citizens voting? I mean, are they trying to infer? They said that that they don't agree with it because it's gonna keep poor people and I forget the other term that they used from being able. Are you saying that poor people are too stupid to be able to acquire a form of photo ID so that they can vote? I mean, is that what they're saying here? Are they trying to say that people can't figure out how to
go to your DMV, get a identification card? That shit's like $15. Boom, baby, you got yourself a photo ID.
But let's not forget the fact that they require photo ID for you to get on and use their service. There is that. But they're mad that the state wants to require photo ID to vote to ensure only legal votes are being counted. The hypocrisy and the way of thinking is so out of control at this moment. Like I said, nothing is inspiring me to get behind any of these ideas. But maybe it's just me.
Sorry, ever since you said Georgia, I can't get this damn song stuck in my head. Georgia.
Maybe we'll have to get you on here.
It just keeps getting on loop.
Maybe we'll have to have you on here to sing another song, like when you sang Helen's birthday song.
I've been working on our intro song. So,
Oh man.
spoiler alert, listeners, the intro song will change eventually. Because we got one to beat a little bit of a. We're going to throw down the beat down here in the old Beats Lab and get a
Ricky's
good
gonna
one
sing
real
us.
whipped up.
I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, because
It's going to take a while. 'cause I'm gonna be laughing so hard.
realistically, I need something to laugh about because at this point in time, you know me, and you know that I would love nothing more than to sit down here and just crack jokes for however long I want to.
Right.
It'd be great. But literally, I'm struggling to find anything funny about what's going on right now.
Yeah, that's why you just can't look at her, man.
You
I
have
know.
to. You got to know what's going down.
I know. Everybody tells me that, but then if you do, then look at you.
True. Well,
Look at me. I'm snap back, and I don't care.
I did get a little negative shade from the last couple of episodes.
Oh, we got our first hater, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like on the old social media, but they were trying.
I was gonna say I didn't see anything.
They don't think that I should be voicing my opinion, or I should be. I don't know. I mean, like I always say, I'm like the violin player on the deck of the Titanic. I'm just gonna keep playing while the ship's going down. Not gonna stop. So when you don't want to voice your opinion, or you're quiet and you just want to get in line and toe that line, that's how we all end up in trouble.
Yeah, you're the violin player, and it's all showing everybody just boom, boom, bang, hitting the propellers. They
Just
fall down.
massive.
And you're just going,
It's
and then
just
there's me.
massive.
Then it like pans to me, and I'm at home, sitting on my couch, legs up, because there ain't no hell and way I'm stepping foot on that bleeping boat and going across the stinking ocean. Ain't happening.
When you just get in line and toe the line, that's how you end up with problems that can't be fixed.
Right. Once you cross it,
That's what I'm saying.
It's
All
hard
these-
to. You
All
can't
these
get back.
taxes and everything that everybody thinks a good idea, they're like, oh yeah, you just get in line, they ain't never gonna go away. Not to, I think next on the agenda, on our next episode, I was gonna another issue that doesn't exactly strike me to unify is the chaos we have, crisis. I mean, catastrophe. I mean, like dumpster fire of an issue we have going on at the southern border. I told you, I think me and Margaret got in a little heated argument because it's about the kids. It's about the kids. Well, yeah, it is about the kids to a point. When we're exploiting kids is kind of where I draw the line.
Yeah, it's wrong.
And I mean, they had plenty of time over the previous 4 years to come to the United States, to get their amnesty, to do. I mean, say what you want about the previous administration. You didn't like him because he was mean, because he was mean to reporters. Spoiler alert, reporters were mean to him every day. Every minute, every turn, they just didn't like him because bottom line is he was about America first. Right now, we're America last. And these people had plenty of opportunity. He basically was just saying, come through the front door, stop hopping the back fence. He never said nobody could come. He wants you to come not illegally. So that has me a little frustrated. It has me a little frustrated at this point in time that they're bringing people in that do have... Here's two of the main things that I was trying to explain to Margaret that have me the most heated at this point in time. Like I said before, in our current state of affairs, you have to close it down, worry about yourself, worry about every country has a government, they can worry about themselves.
Right.
They can take care of themselves. I mean, some are a little bit, there are some semi-social list countries that are having a little harder time taking care of themselves right now because developing a vaccine in the manner that we did in the time frame that we did is all part of the way we operate in capitalism versus socialism. You don't have those options to create those things. So some of those countries are suffering a little more, but that is the type of thing they voted for. When they voted to
not have a care in the world and be reliant on the government. These are sometimes in bad situations the things that happen because they don't have the ability to create. You can't. Our president picked up the phone and reached out to these corporations and said, this is what we need and this is how much we'll pay for it. We need it by this time. You can do that here. You can't do that there. Two of the things that we were arguing about the most that have me the most upset about the current situation at the southern border is, for one, they're bringing these people in with COVID-19, but yet us here as American citizens who pay our taxes here are still under some sort of form of lockdown, are still being restricted from doing things that we want to in our own country because of the COVID-19, and they're bringing these people in. My other issue is that the teachers union is getting funding in these stimulus packages. The teachers unions don't want to be in classrooms, so they have teachers that are being paid that don't want to teach the taxpayers' children, but now in some of these these facilities where they're holding these illegal immigrants that are flooding the border, are getting in-person learning from the teachers that should be teaching tax-paying Americans. So, little intro into the crisis at the southern border.
If that doesn't tickle your fanny, then boy howdy, Pete is a little fired up.
I've been fired up.
If you can't tell, there's a campfire underneath his keister, and it is raging. Well, I'll kind of take over from there and let you steam off a little bit.
Oh man, that was hot.
Need to press the valve and let out the air and deflate. Well, I usually go straight to Podbean, but apologize for me if I kind of wasn't as into the podcast, but I was working on getting our Facebook linked up to Podbean. So, I'm just going to go straight to Facebook, and you want to give us a follow, a like, look on there, because now when I upload it here onto Podbean, it's going to go right to our Facebook page. So you can listen to it right off Facebook. I know we've been getting a lot of feedback from what I've been hearing from Pete and from Helen and from Margaret, so we needed to get that on there, so easier way for you to listen to it. So I got her on there for you. It's only the new episodes, so I apologize for that, but there we go. Yeah, we got the Facebook up and running. We'll get some updates onto that. We still are on Podbean. You can get us at shootingitstraight.com. That's shooting it without the G, straight.com. And then Spotify, TuneIn plus Alexa, iHeartRadio, Player FM. You can give us a look up on Pandora. We are on Apple Podcasts. I did look up.
Nice.
I searched it up on there. For now. Like I said, Facebook, and we're on YouTube. Shooting it straight with Pete and Ricky. Give us that subscribe. Hit the little notification button. You'll get all the new and greatest, latest and greatest. Give us a look up on the gram. Shooting_it_straight. Drop us a DM. Or just give us a comment. We'll give you a shout out in the next video. But other than that, keep giving us the feedback. We love that you guys are still listening. And
haters and all.
Bring them all. They'll be on Facebook now. Like I said, it's going to go on Facebook, dude.
We'll be on Facebook.
I changed it, dude. It's up. It's going to be up.
We'll have to keep a little time clock running to see how long we last on Facebook, because they want to crush your second or your First Amendment rights along with it. So,
spoiler alert, there will be an update on this camping trip that we're going to be having that I'm leaving on tomorrow.
First camping trip with the new purchase.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
The Revolvers are going on their first camping trip.
I'll be looking forward to hearing about that.
But other than that,
that's it for Shooting It Straight.
Episode 10.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.